How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the gaming channel. It's Type QQ. It's Mega Maker. Kind of surprisingly, yeah? If you've been following the news of all the channel stuff, you would have maybe been privy to the information that my controller is now dead, and that kind of probably shelved it, or put on the shelf. I don't know if shelved it is the word. Put on the shelf Mega Maker? At least I thought so, but upon second thought, we could at least make a level with a keyboard. I mean, there's gonna be some slight test playing that we'd have to do with the keyboard, but I figure, hey, we can at least make a level and upload a level other than playing other people's level with a controller, so we can just make it with a keyboard. So that's what we've done. So this whole video is kind of not necessarily planned out, but I kind of had some ideas and some patterns that I wanted to do with making my sort of shmup level, and yeah. So this is the sort of progress, I would say, or the building procedure. I found this kind of cool outdoor mountainscape background that I like, so we're going to just kind of spread that out a whole ton. And that's kind of all it is a sort of horizontally scrolling level with a variety of baddies. And of course with unlimited rush jet. That's kind of the whole premise. So of course we have our starting where we're the sort of lifting off point of Mega Man as well. I mean, sadly, he doesn't. He can't, start off with Rush Jet. You have to kind of summon him and jump on him, that sort of thing. So that's where this sort of initial starting point is going to kind of be. And of course, we just, with no real sort of plan or method in place, we do test out a bunch of stuff. See what kind of works with the background. And you can see it's kind of weird, like the thumbnail, or rather the preview picture of some things. They change color when you that the one we had just before that was like the green block that turns into orange. So we're just kind of like, okay, we'll just stick with the sort of ice bricks. And of course, this is the section where you can kind of check out the or select the level background music. So there's a lot of cool stuff to kind of go through. Of course, Mega Man, the whole franchise is pretty famous for its music. I mean, not every game and not every song, but for the franchise, where at least initially conceived in Japan as Rockman, so not like the Stone, but as the genre of music. So. You can kind of miss that in English translation, where you have rock, you have roll, you have bass and treble. It's one of the most astounding. Not astounding, I guess is not the right word, but one of the most unfortunate things of the Mega Man franchise is, like I was just mentioning bass, is this commonly mispronounced as bass, and it certainly did not help. Like one of the cartoons or animes referred to him as bass as well. So it's kind of like if you needed the reference point of how to pronounce something, it's like right there, Capcom funded, program, with Mega Man running around blasting things, and they use the name for a goddamn fish. Even though it's most obviously bass and treble, and then I think in Japan it was more music references. I forget, it was like a forte, and no, it's not forte because that's Spanish for fire. It was something. It escapes me now. Yes, if it escapes me, but yes, there, you know, for the most part, all music references, you know, aside from, you know, of course, Proto Man, Wily, you know, sure, but, you know, there's no fish fucking references unless you're talking about, you know, Toad Man or something, but toads aren't necessarily fish. Here's bass, or rather, here's Bass with his dog Treble. You know, Bass and Treble. You get it, right? You get it? So still kind of fine tuning the starting area, I suppose. Who knows what we're thinking? We're thinking a little bit of this, a little bit of that, figuring out all kinds of things. And there's one thing I do like about this building program, is how it sort of smartly changes to things depending on the size of the texture. You know, it's not like you have different textures or different tiles you have to select if it's the top layer or the bottom layer or in the middle. It kind of automatically knows and kind of changes appropriately. I did disable sliding just in case it was possible to slide off the rush jet. I didn't want that to happen. So I think we're going to work on our first set of enemies here, which, you know, I kind of wanted to play, yeah, sort of play into the sort of classical sort of, you know, all the classic enemies I really liked in the Mega Man games. Kind of give them, you know, each sort of like a piece of the gauntlet, I suppose. Like each block of a screen is a different sort of you know, enemy from, you know, classic Mega Man stuff. If that makes any sense. If I didn't describe that in just the worst way possible. This is kind of a neat texture here, where it's this sort of like orange metal material with the frozen rocks in it. We don't really use a whole lot of it, but it's kind of cool to hang these bats on. And there it is, our first wave of enemies. And of course, you know, by the end of this, you know, I'll be giving you the name of the level, so you can also search it out yourself and play it if you like. Yeah, and as you notice, there's certain like um, sizes that certain textures like. You know, you can see that like if you put just like one block, it kind of looks out of place. So you have to put like maybe like 3 pieces for it to really kind of flesh out. And of course, there's enemy size as well, so you have to. There you go. Kind of have to play into that as well. I'm not using any spikes because you know if you fall off the stage down to the bottom, it's all instant death anyway. So no sense really toying with that. And we do start off with these sort of ladybug helicopters. Sort of like mirroring patterns as well. We are going to change those ladybugs. Through test playing, we find out that they kind of don't really work to our advantage too much, so we'll come around to it and I'll explain that more. But for now, you know, we were like, oh, those are cool. I remember those, and we'll throw those in. And a couple of those Met dudes with the give them the little platforms. And I really fought against it to put like a Sniper Joe in it. I know Sniper Joes are really like classic and popular for that matter, and they are kind of like a staple in Mega Man games. I fucking hate them, you know. They're not necessarily a fun enemy to go against. So that's kind of my thing, is that I kind of wanted the game to look, you know, I kind of want my level to look good and kind of be fun to play and not be entirely challenging, but get the idea that, you know, this is what we're going for, type of thing. And we're just deciding to go for like a rainbow appeal. Avoiding the purple one just to not blend in with the background. You know, if you know me from any of my shmup videos, that's one thing that I just kind of, that triggers me right off the face of the earth, is when an enemy or a bullet blends in with the background. That's it. So it's kind of like, man, I can't even, shouldn't really be a hypocrite that much and kind of fall prey to my own criticisms of other games and try not to put a purple enemy in front of this purple backdrop, huh? Creating a large platform here. And to be honest, I kind of like these sort of icy bricks more than the other texture we were using. You know, the orange outline. I mean, it's okay and all, but this icy blue texture, or the icy bricks, just seem to have a more cleaner look. You know, granted, it's a bit more rigid, but I think they kind of, you know, I think they look really nice when it's nice and tall with that sort of white shimmer. So alternating colors just to be cute, I guess. You're gonna see that a lot, of just sort of changing colors of things. guys. After some of those floating guys, what are we thinking about next? Yeah, that guy's he's pretty solid when it comes to enemies. He shoots in like a variety of different directions. And just to be a little nice, I guess, throw one of those there. There we go. Just to add some sort of fairness to it as well, you know, just in case you do take damage along the way. There's a couple health ups. And these were certainly guys that I had in mind of introducing to the level, as well as certain like rush enemies that sort of have different patterns to them. You know, like one screen will go up, like they're just all up. There's one screen that's all down, and then, you know, it tries to convey a pattern, you know. We'll actually come back and implement more of them, because just the one is kind of, we get the idea here of putting 3, but we could put 300 and it kind of proves the same point and just kind of looks neater. A nice ugly wall of them. And certainly kind of like a little challenging part, so we're gonna put like a big nasty like enemy here, followed by that health up. And we're gonna choose that sort of like tennis ball machine guy here, which is, he's commonly used in a lot of levels as that sort of like giant jerk machine or enemy that kind of stops people in their tracks. But if you make through them, you do get that the HP capsule. And I do have to be careful about not putting too many guys in one screen, just because it's, you know, we have all the space in the world to stretch out this level. So there's no, you know, where it's kind of like an auto scroller at that, you know, there's no reason to cram too much at the same time. And oddly enough, when I was kind of conceiving this in my mind, I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I put those sort of tadpole guys in the tadpole eggs. You know, because I thought of, like, you know, Life Force salamander stuff with like this sort of bio horror stuff, and I was like, you know, it'd be kind of like, what would it, you know, what type of level would it be if you couldn't, you know, blow up eggs and, you know, had that sort of like Gradius sort of bio wall that was kind of regenerating as well. So I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I put these in here. So I wanted these big chunky walls that you had to blast through. However, in practice or in action, it's actually a garbage idea and they're so bad. So we put them up at first, try it for a couple times, and they're like, yeah, that's just nonsense. And we actually delete all this garbage, but there it is for now. What I should have done, which I still might do, is do the breakable wall pieces. It only kind of dawned on me sometime after making the level that I was like, you know, that's kind of what I want to do, is just have breakable pieces, not necessarily like too much bullshit like those sort of tadpole eggs do. And here's the end of our level, or like the beginning of the end of our level. This is the sort of platform, or this area where you actually get off Rush Jet and fight the boss. No real difference in boss doors, so we're just gonna place a set and then build around it, sort of thing. And that kind of works. We're going to come back and touch it up a bit more, but yeah, that's how it is for the time being. And these guys are annoying as fuck. You see them a lot of times in other levels where people just like to pile them in because they do have quite the fire rate to them. And for the boss, you know, I did kind of want to change up the background a little bit. You know, you've been traveling across those sort of mountainy sky for so long, you know, there had to be a destination you had to reach. You know, to fight this boss, I guess. Oh, that's getting real confusing with multiple. So for the time being, we go with the waterfall. I mean, what I'll say is that you know, there's you know, like sort of placeholder type of stuff that we're doing right now. We're just kind of like making everything, and then we're going to kind of go back around it and kind of put our finishing touches to it, and, you know, put our own personal flair. But for right now, this is kind of how it is. And of course, a checkpoint there. It just wouldn't be a Mega Man game if you didn't have a checkpoint there. And I think commonly, I think you'll find a lot of people kind of messing that up as well. And they just kind of forget that you should put a checkpoint there because, yeah, that's what Mega Man games do. But also to be um, a bit more forgiving, we're going to put some checkpoints throughout the level as well. And what's weird is that I didn't actually have to need those ice blocks, but they do kind of. So you can just float those checkpoints, but they do kind of look good, you know, sitting on things. Just kind of going through our kind of like our first draft of our level here. And really, now there's just the boss room to kind of iron out, I guess. Pretty simple stuff, nothing too wild or crazy. What's weird is we kind of settle on that sort of Pharaoh Man stage type of stuff. I think it's Pharaoh Man stage. And although it's supposed to look like a desert in the background, like I don't know, I just kind of it almost looked pretty icy as well with that sort of dark purple. Like you're well, the sky is purple in the level. Maybe this could kind of work as icy as well. I mean, it's obviously like sand dunes, but you know, maybe at first glance you can fool somebody for it being ice. And of course, because Rush Jet, excuse me, can't be a weakness of the boss, we're just gonna add another weapon with Quickman's boomerang thing being a good choice. I don't know, at this point maybe it would be good to to mute that music. This building music can get a little tedious. You know, I try to make like a sort of icicle look. I just don't think it really comes across very much. That kind of just like two big blue udders, you know. So it's a nice attempt, I guess. But alright, so we'll give it our first test go. And we are playing this on the keyboard, so it's not anything that I'm particularly comfortable with. So we'll find the occasional like screw up when it comes to shouldn't have jumped here when we should have shot there, sort of thing. Yeah, this is what I'm saying with the ladybugs. It's like they follow you. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot they follow you, but they follow us the whole friggin' time. You know, there's some enemies that follow us but are too slow, so they kind of fade away, but these guys are actually rather fast. And this isn't anything I really intended. You know, see how those kind of jelly bean guys, they float off screen. For those ladybugs, they stay with you, so. One of the first things we change is the ladybugs there. You know, I suppose they're harmless, but certainly, like, if I'm trying to make a shmup game, you know, there aren't too many enemies in shmup games that follow you to this degree, so it's not really playing into the concept of the level I was trying to create. But other than that, everything seems to be looking pretty good. I think we're going to add a couple more features on top. With one that I actually kind of, like, out of the blue really loved. Yeah, these tadpoles are another enemy that kind of follow you. But yeah, we're going to bash our heads against the tadpole eggs for a little bit until we find out that's just kind of a bad idea. But first, the ladybugs, they have to go. Yeah, and his we really like double up and quadruple up on these guys just for visual effect, because you know they don't, you know, once if the front one hits you, it's not like any of them will hit you in that row. It just kind of looks cool. You know, it doesn't make it any more harder. Yeah, and those ladybugs have to go. And this is kind of where, surprisingly enough, one of my favorite features is implemented in the level. You know, I've actually gone on record on some of the past videos. I'm like, oh, these damn screws, you know, they're used everywhere and they suck. But actually, I've actually come to really enjoy them, especially when you choose different colors for them. You'll be able to see the effect once it's in action, but you know, I think if you're doing a shmup level, you use like It's almost criminal that if you forget these, so we're actually going to load the level up with them. Oops. Like I was saying, you know, like, we're playing this on a keyboard, so constantly confused about the controls and what to do and what not to do. Yeah, check this out. I love this. Too damn cool. Too damn cool. I was like, that. It's a shmup level when you have that, and it's very cool how like the bullets are a little bit different color as well. So that's, you know, it's perfect. You know, if there, you know, the level's already published, but I think, you know, there could be some finer touches. You know, and one of them might be that just put the checkpoint floating in the middle of the screen. It doesn't necessarily be resting on the bottom of something. Some much needed life there. And you can really just avoid a lot of these enemies as well. There's one thing to remember, like a lot of the classic shmups didn't have like a whole fuck ton of enemies like the, you know, current games do. So here we are. Like this is, yeah, it's a big fucking mess over there. But I suppose instead of working on that tadpole section, we're just going to kind of put some final touches on the sort of screw area, I suppose. Or at least an edit, not necessarily, maybe not a final edit. Yeah, I love that. It came out way too well. Yeah, and even 4 works really well too. Oops. Again, buttons not to press, but it's not a big deal. Like I was saying, now officially addicted to this stuff. Now, only if we could change the hitbox of Mega Man and have his, like, his underwear, like one sparkle piece in the middle of his underwear be his hitbox, right? Ah, I love that too much. A bit chaotic there, but you can also see how things are kind of like activated by proximity as well. So if you're not really close to them, they won't necessarily fire either. So. Didn't even have to kill him that time. And then here we are to that dumpster fire of a screen of of enemies there. And at this point, who would I be if I didn't add more of these sort of screw things in rainbow succession? Yep, so there goes that. I think it was a good try, but... But like I was saying, maybe if we made the sort of destruction, the breakable blocks, maybe that'd be a better substitution than that. The eggs that spawn the little tadpole things. Real good. We're dropping shit now. So we go for these sort of helicopter cannons. Come in sort of opposite, patterns there. It's slightly off, but I think I like it that way because they do kind of just bounce about. All right, let's give it a shot. See what's up. Oh. Our Mega Man skills on the keyboard leaves us much to be desired. But I think for the most part, with some final touches here at the end, this is essentially the level. I think some simple but effective patterns, you know. I love that stuff. And I think it works out so well that they just kind of they do their thing, but you know, very easy to dodge all the same. But they do serve their purpose, you know. They do confuse you and sort of distract you from other enemies bashing you. So, oh, and that's a pretty stupid move too. You know, there's only 2 buttons outside of the movement buttons. You know, you would figure they wouldn't give me such trouble, but yeah, I don't even know how the physics works with your sort of leading foot hanging on the jet and the other one completely off, and you're still staying on. Contemplating something here. Oh, going back to the editor. And I think this is kind of a good thing to have as well. You know, right there at that final checkpoint, right before the boss, you can pretty much heal up for, you know, whether it's your, your first life or your maybe checkpoint or whatever. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, healing you up to your maximum right before you fight the boss. Then adding some kind of cool effects in there. You know, you always see this sort of like cool stuff going on in the level. We go with this for a sec, although, we kind of find out like it doesn't really look that great. course, gotta go with the Gemini Man stage. I believe that is with his textures there. I'm just kind of playing around with different things to make it look nice, but those purple cylinder things they didn't look as nice as I first thought. And I think that looks a lot better when, material that kind of works together when they're really, really big and thick. I'm not even sure I remember what that's from, but it's that sort of weird looking glass, I suppose. So it's really just more or less cosmetic changes right now, kind of making sure things look cool and a little bit different than they did before. I was kind of an idiot and left Napalm Man there sort of just dangling, but he does kind of fall when you play the level, so it's no big harm. And then we're kind of like stretching it out on the other screens as well, kind of having that effect of like almost like a transition, So the new texture isn't necessarily a big shock, I mean, that's really about it. Just some final touches here and there, and that's... yeah. And here's the title as well. So if you wanted to search and play for yourself, it's going to be called what again? I think it's Type QQ Shmup level, something pretty generic like that. Yep, just something as easy as that. So much like the other Mario Maker game is that you have to at least play your level and beat your level before you can actually load it up to the server, I suppose. And I think Napalm Man's a perfect fix for her as well, because he has those shots and explosions as well. And I suppose this kind of acts as a walkthrough as well, if you kind of want an idea of how to beat it. Although I don't think it's particularly the hardest level ever. I just kind of wanted to do some, you know, just like a fun, casual level. You know, that added a little bit of challenge, but also kind of treated you right when it came to health pickups and checkpoints, you know. Not much in the way of like, okay, I get what he's trying to make with this level. You know, like this, you know, like just like fly by enemies. Like, oh yeah, I get it, I get it. Yeah, these kind of suicide guys that kind of drop down, those guys are awful mean to you. You know, it's a shame that whole wall wasn't able to like stick around, because that's kind of how I want to do it. Is that you couldn't mess up, and no matter what you did, you had to walk through those things that kind of healed you up. And there we go. Made him weak towards quick man shot, and that's it from there. Successfully loaded. So there it is. It's live on the Mega Maker server. You can check it out for yourself. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. Then we'll come back and play some more.